Hi, this is Eddie Salazar again, and I'm here with Cecilia Garcia, who works at the BFA, which is the Bilingual Foundation of the Arts. Now, this place has appeared in Unsolved Mysteries as one of the most haunted places in the United States. So we're going to ask Ms. Garcia all the questions that we possibly can to find out about the Blue Boy, the ghost that sits here and lives inside the Bilingual Foundation of the Arts.
The Blue Boy is one of the famous ones that have been mentioned all through. You could Google it. It's well known of it being a guy who's about 6'1", short hair, brown hair. I've seen him, and he's basically, you can't tell if he's an inmate or he was a guy who was in a worker or something, but he does have this hologram, this type of bluish color. So that's the reason why they call him blue, because when you see him, his whole aura is blue, the entity. And basically, he doesn't say anything. I've encountered him, and he just smirks. He tends to just walk around, and he's a joker. He tends to do some things like shoelace movements, or he'll do pranks on lighting and electricity because he likes to take energies from our equipment or stuff. And basically, he likes to scare people. He'll touch you from behind, or he'll say something. If you can hear him, he'll say something to you from behind or close to you. He'll be in front or on the side.
Oh. What's some of the scariest experiences you've had here with Blue Boy?
Well, I've never been scared because I'm very in touch with the encounters of either side. But for other people who have had the experience that are scared of things of the supernatural, there has been actors that have been always scared. They scream like girls. Or they'll react to certain things and they don't want to perform because they're scared, and so sometimes I have to calm them because I have to tell them, look, they're not going to don't be afraid of the ghosts, because ghosts are not going to do nothing to you. The living will do something more to you than when a ghost person, unless it's diabolic. None of the ghosts here are diabolic. They're basically just like to play. They like to take the energies because they go by, they'll go into the systems of electrical stuff. They'll use the phone at times where you can get a phone call and it's all staticky, and you can hear their voices, but very in a static way. Blue Boy is one of them that appears certain times, but we also have Lady in White. Okay. The Lady in White has been more, she's been more active lately these days, and so she does this operatic singing, and because we've been doing zarzuelas, we've had a lot of singers, so she's been like called, like she feels like she's in her environment. Mm. And but she roams the Elysian Park, and she roams this area because Lincoln Heights was a very Italian area, especially Chinatown area.
Okay. Now this is now the BFA, the Bilingual Foundation of the Arts, but it used to be a jail.
It used to be the Lincoln Heights jail, so there is a lot of ghosts, and that's why I mentioned that Blue Boy is from the times of the jail. But there's also other ghosts that are from the earlier times, so that they're not really from when the building didn't exist. So there is ghosts, like there's Sam, Fred, Abigail. We do have a guy John, and there's also Mike and Carlos. Some of them are from the times, and some of them are from later on in the 70s, 60s, because the building was, I believe, was done in 1910 or in the 20s, around that decade, and they closed it in 1960s. So the jail was closed in the 60s, but it has a lot of history, this building, not just ghosts. We've had Al Capone, when he got arrested at the Union Station, he stayed one night here before they took him to the Alcatraz. So basically this jail has a lot of history. And there's other people. I mean, if you Google Lincoln Heights Jail, you'll hear about a lot of things about this place. So it's really interesting. But ghosts is one that has been very active here.
Great. Is there anything besides ghosts that you've seen? We were just, before the camera was on, we were asking about Portuguese, if there's anything of that nature, any sort of different spirits, good or bad, that you've kind of sensed here or heard about?
Yes, one night that I stayed over, which is, I've had many occasions, but in the very early times when it was more active, I mean, we've had a lot of mediums and a lot of people who've come already kind of cleansed a little bit, so it's kind of calmed down. But when it was active and nobody was doing anything about it, we did have people, I mean, phones, you would hear the phone ring and then you pick up and it would interrupt your calls and you'd be hearing your name mentioned or they'll try to talk to you. And that was only certain people can sense it. But I can feel them. You know, there's times where you feel coldness. There's times where I'm in the booth, where I'm calling the show, and you feel the presence of somebody standing right behind you and just put a hand like this, or they're looking at you and you feel them like around you. And they'll mess with the lights.
Oh.
And so there is activity in those times.
There you go.
You get those a lot of times. And actors have been at times where they're walking and they're lost at some times, and then the ghost helps them. There was one situation where I went to the ladies' room over here and the toilet got flushed. And then you hear the water faucet to wash your hands type of thing. And then you see a shadow of black crossing over, and of course they give you toilet paper and they give you stuff like that.
Pretty amazing stuff. So there you have it. We are in one of the top 10 most haunted places in the United States, and we're filming the extra right here.
Marker? Action.
I know you. What do you do?
Nothing.
Oh, I know that's not true. I've seen you somewhere.
I'm in catering.
Cut. Perfect. Perfect. That was a great cut point. Thank you, guys.